It's late,
Past midnight.
and the phone starts to ring.
You're standing in your pyjamas and bare feet, still heavy with sleep because you've just been woken.
Your heart is beating,
Too fast.
like it might go.
Any minute it might go.
And you know that if you answer, your life is going to change.
And you're not ready for it.
Even though you've been waiting for this call ever since we were old enough to stay out past 9.
Ever since you stopped tucking us in at night and turning off the light.
Ever since we came screaming into this world.
You've been waiting for this.
And you're thinking, which one of my kids is in trouble?
Which one of my kids is hurt?
Which one of my kids is dead?
And how will I tell their mother?
You could turn around.
Walk away?
Not answer.
But you know that this,
Whatever this is.
Just has to be faced.
Hello?
Berlin. A winter coat, a travel bag, a red nose, and a broken heart. I'm standing on the platform at the train station. It's cold. The train is late, and my socks are wet. I'm not quite sure how I got here or where I'm meant to be going next. I met him 4 nights ago, and he was the most beautiful boy I had ever seen. His name was Emmanuel, of course, and he came from Madrid. I've been traveling by myself for 3 months. The great European adventure. London, Dublin, Paris, Prague, and then Berlin. Been saving for a year. Cafe work, bar work, babysitting. Mum and Dad said, don't go by yourself. It's too dangerous. Go on a tour or at least with some girlfriends. I'll meet people, I told them. I'll be fine. But meeting people is harder than you think. I mean, I did meet people at hostels and stuff, but mainly other Australians. And that was fun for a night or 2. But the boys just wanted to have sex, and well, I guess that's all right. But if I wanted to have sex with an Australian boy, I would have stayed in Hallock Cove. So I go to the churches and the museums and the galleries, and I walk through the cobbled streets, and I sit in cafes trying to look mysterious, and everything is so beautiful. Everything is what I was expecting it to be, and yet somehow I want it to be more. I Skype home once a week, tell Mum and Dad what an amazing place Europe is. They've never been. I tell them I'm having the best time because I can't bear the thought of them being disappointed for me. And when I Skype my brother, Mark, I pretend that the camera on my iPad is broken because he knows me. He'll see it in my face. He'll see it's all a mess, and he'll tell me to come home, but I can't go home, not yet. I mean, well then, I couldn't go home then because it would be such a defeat. I don't know what it's meant to be. I don't know what I'm meant to do. I just keep wondering, when will it start? Life? When will life start? And then there he is, in a club in Mitte, dancing, with his shirt off. And I think, wow, that guy can really dance. I mean, that guy is like fire. And then he looks over at me? And I am gone. I pretend not to be, try to be cool, try to pretend that I'm not interested, but I am so interested. And we dance until the sun comes up. And as I come out of the club into the light, I think, this is it. This is life. I am living. And I know he wants to take me home to his place or a friend's place or someone's place. I'm not quite sure whose place it is, but I say, okay, because at last I am living and I don't want life to stop. And when he kisses me, oh, I want to cry because I have never been kissed like that, not in Hallock Cove. And I've never been kissed where he kissed me or touched quite like that. He seemed to know things, and Well, for once it didn't seem to matter that I didn't. 3 days. 3 days we stayed in bed. And after 3 days, I knew some things too. We didn't even get up to eat. He'd just disappear and come back with a bowl of cereal and 2 spoons. And that's all we'd eat. Cereal. Out of the same bowl. For 3 days. And on the 3rd night, I watch him sleeping and I do that thing you shouldn't do. I think about the future. I imagine taking him home to see my mum and dad and my sister and my brothers and how they will all love him like they love me, and how clever I am and brave I am to have found such a man, such a beautiful man, different but the same, and brought him all the way back to Hallock Cove, and then there I am. Oh God, I am so embarrassed, but suddenly there I am in our backyard with Dad's roses all around us, and I'm walking across the lawn on his arm, and he's got tears in his eyes, and Mum is there in a new dress, which she never lets herself have, and my sister Pip is there with her husband Steve, and they're 2 girls. She got married in the backyard too, and Mark, my oldest brother, who I adore, is there with his girlfriend Taylor. And then there's Ben, my other brother, who's there with a girl who's new and won't last because they just don't with Ben. And I love them all so much. Sometimes I think too much, if you can love too much. But now I have to make room for Emmanuel, who is standing there in his suit and is just so handsome. And I am wearing a white dress. And I'm kind of surprised, kind of shocked, because I never knew that's what I wanted. Maybe it's not what I want. So I think my mum and dad want for me, but anyway, I am there in a white dress on my father's arm, walking across our lawn, and he wakes up and looks at me as if he knows what I'm thinking and as if he wants to get up and run. So I kiss him on the lips before he can. And he smiles. And I am gone all over again, and we make love so tenderly and so sweetly. And after, as I'm drifting off to sleep, laying on his chest, listening to the beat of his heart, thinking, I could listen to this for the rest of my life, I think, is this it? Is this what falling in love is? And when I wake up in the morning, he's gone. Along with 400 euros from my wallet, my camera, my iPad, my favourite scarf, and a large piece of my heart. I find a girl in the house smoking a cigarette at the kitchen table, and I ask if she's seen him. She shrugs and says he said something about going to see his girlfriend in London. She tells me to get my things and to get out of her house. I walk through the streets of Berlin. I feel small. I feel like I am 12 years old. I feel ridiculous. I want to cry, but I won't. Well, I do a bit, but not as much. I do a bit, but not as much as I want to. I want my dad. I want my mum. I want my sister and my brothers. I often argue and fight and tease me, but I can't think of them too much because if I want to hear them laugh and argue and fight and tease me, but I can't think of them too much because it's so like I am literally gonna fall to pieces. Like my arms are gonna drop off and then my legs and my head. And so to stop myself from coming apart, I make a list of all the things I know. I mean, actually know for certain to be true. And the really frightening thing is, it's a very short list. I don't know much at all. But I know that at 25 Windari Avenue, Hallock Cove, things are the same as when I left, and they always will be. And I know that I have to go home.
come on. Look at... Oh, jeez.
Bob! Bob! Oh, stop it. The kids have to be picked up at 3:15.
I know.
But you can't be late.
I'm never late.
You were late on Monday.
5 minutes, that's not late.
It takes 2 minutes to grab a child and put her in your car.
You know that, do you?
There's dinner in the fridge, some bolognese. Just heat it in the microwave. Pip will pick them up at 6.
I'm going to see about getting rid of that tree.
You're not touching that tree.
It makes a mess of the garden.
Good. Give you something to do.
It's going to drop a bough one day, right on the shed.
Well, you in it if I'm lucky.
It's a bloody eyesore.
It is the most beautiful thing in the garden. It's the only thing that doesn't grow in a straight line and hasn't been pruned to within an inch of its life.
Hi.
Where the hell did you come from?
Berlin.
Rosie!
I'm home.
What's happened? What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Bob,
Are you hurt?
No.
are you sick?
I'm fine.
Oh! Mwah. When did you get in?
Oh, about an hour ago. It took me a while to get through customs.
Why didn't you
I
call?
wanted to surprise you.
I would have picked you up. I would have been there.
I called a taxi.
Well, how much did that cost?
It's me.
Fran,
Rosie's back.
she caught a taxi.
Something's happened.
Mum!
Did he come the coast road at least?
It was a she, and she came down the expressway.
I think you should come over.
It doesn't matter. There wasn't much traffic.
Well, that's it, Rosie. They think the expressway is quicker, but if there's no traffic, it's better to take the coast road.
That was Pip. She's on her way.
You should have called.
I'll call your brothers.
Look at you,
I know.
Franny.
I know. It's Mum. Rosie's just walked in. I know, but she's here. Something's happened.
Mum!
You look...
Different?
No,
All grown up?
just the same.
Mark's on his way.
I'm meant to look older, Dad.
Well, you haven't been away that long, love.
Ben, Rosie's back.
I wanted to surprise you.
You did.
Something's happened.
Mum!
He's on his way.
Nothing happened.
Look at you.
I know.
You look...
just the same.
No, you look...
What?
Did you meet someone?
No.
A boy?
No.
Did he hurt you?
Who hurt you?
A boy.
Mum! I have just walked in the door. You have to stop asking questions because I don't have the answers. Not now, not yet. And if you keep asking, I'm going to cry. I am home, okay? That's as much as I know right now.
Okay. You're home. Bob, she's home.
I know.
We can sleep again.
Rosie! Oh, look at you!
I know she's here. Can you believe it?
Just walks in through the front door, not even a phone call, and she catches a taxi, Pip, from the airport.
What for?
Exactly, when there's all these cars here and people to pick her up. What's the point of a family if they can't pick you up at the airport?
I wanted to surprise you.
I'm still getting up off the floor, love.
You look exactly the same, apparently.
Well, what happened?
Nothing.
My mum said.
I know,
Well, why
but-
did you come home early?
Somebody hurt her.
Mum!
A boy.
Oh, Rosie, really?
No!
Are you okay?
I just don't want this to be about that, Dad.
No, she's right. Give the girl some air. She's not ready to talk about it.
Rosie, what happened?
A guy hurt her.
What's his name? Where is he? Hey, little sister, I've missed you. Where have you been again? Hey, Mr. Napalot.
She caught a taxi.
What, from the airport?
Of all the things.
I would have picked you up.
That's what I said.
You should have called.
I told her.
I'm making coffee. Who wants coffee?
No, I can't stay.
You can stay for a moment.
I'm late, Mum.
But Rosie's here.
Where's Steve and the girls?
At home, they've got school.
Dad's picking him up at 3:15. Go with him. Make sure he's not late.
I'm never late.
You were late on Monday.
Pip's been promoted.
Really? That's fantastic.
I'm starting so early and finishing later.
She's running the whole department, a whole government department.
No, I'm not.
It's incredible what she does.
I'm overseeing curriculum development. It's temporary. I'm just filling in for someone.
She's reporting directly to the Minister for Education.
Just his advisors, actually.
But you've met the Minister.
Once.
Well, there you go. They even sent her overseas.
Where?
To Vancouver, it was just a conference.
She's lucky she's got help.
I know that, Mum.
I'm just saying, with Steve, he's good with the kids.
Yeah, he's great. He's their dad.
With a job of his own.
That's right. He's a father with an important job all of his own. He's amazing.
I'm just saying that some men can't manage it as well as he does.
I know that, Mum. I don't need you to
Oh, well,
remind
excuse me for having an opinion on the matter.
Can I scream now? Would anybody mind if I screamed now?
This hasn't been used. Dad, why haven't you used this?
He hasn't worked it out yet.
But I showed him. Dad, I showed you. You just stick in a pod and turn it on. I don't understand why you don't use the things I give you.
He does.
Because I don't need them, son. I don't need coffee machines and leaf blowers when a rake does the job just as well and I drink tea. Sometimes I think you've got more money than sense.
Yeah, well, I work for it.
You want to put a little away. That's all I'm saying.
I'll have a coffee. Rosie, you want coffee, Pip?
I have to go.
Make your sisters a coffee, Ben. I'll have a latte. Give him a break.
Rosie!
I thought you'd got away.
Oh, so did I.
You want coffee, Mark?
I can't stay.
Just walked in.
Why don't you make me one of those after all, son?
Ben, show him how to do it. It's good to learn new things, Bob.
Yeah, give me a look at that thing.
What happened over there?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
How's Taylor?
He didn't tell you.
We split up.
Really?
A month ago.
Are you okay?
I'm working on it.
She left him.
It was mutual.
Packed a bag and walked out without an explanation.
Were you there,
Why
Mum?
wouldn't she?
You don't know what
Well, I've
happened.
got a pretty good idea.
No, actually, you don't.
She wanted children.
Did she?
And you wouldn't be in it.
Is that right?
Then what? Tell me, a woman just doesn't walk away like that.
Now, come on. We won't have any of that. Rosie's just got home.
Look, I liked her. She was a part of the family for 3 years, and then one day she's gone and you give us nothing. We're not even allowed to say goodbye. I miss her. I thought she was the one. I'd made room for her.
I know, Mum.
I'm sorry.
Well, I've got to get going.
Oh, we'll have dinner tonight all together. Bob, pick up some chickens from the butcher when you get the kids.
Mum, I've got plans.
What do you mean? Rosie's home. Change them. And don't forget your washing. It's folded up on your bed.
You still do his washing?
Only on Sundays.
It's just my shirt.
Mum, he does his own underwear.
What? You're not doing him any favours.
He works in an office. He has to look smart.
So he can learn how to iron. He's 28.
Mum helps you with the kids.
So?
Just saying.
Well, that's different.
Why?
Because she'll help you with yours too if you ever find a woman stupid enough to have them with.
Dad, of course he will. What kind of a thing is that to say?
I just said, Mum, you're not doing him any favours.
It's my washing machine. It's my house. He's my son. I'll wash his clothes if I want to.
This coffee's not bad.
Will you back me up?
Ben, wash your own clothes.
I do. It's just my shirts. I can't get them like she does.
So then take them to a laundry and pay for it.
What's the matter, Pip? Do you think you're missing out on something here?
You work, Mum, you always have. You work harder and more hours than anybody else in this family. You shouldn't still be washing and ironing his shirts.
Well, that's my business.
I'm trying to defend you.
I don't need defending against my own son.
I'm going.
Me too.
Nobody misses out here. You understand? What one gets, another one gets in a different way.
Who'd have thought it?
What?
That she's been all over the world and now she's back. Our little Rosie. She was never meant to be here, you know. We thought we'd finished at the Three Kids.
That's my exit cue.
But Souths were in the grand final.
And that's mine.
So it was a big night.
Enough of that old story. We've all heard it too many times. It's enough to say your father is lazy and irresponsible and should have had it on when he didn't. And he was altogether too quick with his business anyway. There was no joy in it for anyone but him. But that is what will happen on grand final night after a few beers, and let that be a warning to you all.
She's right, all of it's true, but thank God for a little recklessness because look what came of it.
Don't forget the chickens, Rosie.
Has anyone seen my phone?
Want me to get them ready?
I'll call you and tell you how I want it done.
I know how to prepare a chicken.
You don't know everything.
I probably do about this.
You have to rub salt on the inside.
I know that.
Has someone put my phone somewhere?
You are so gorgeous, you do know that.
Oh, I can't wait to see the kids. I've got presents for them.
Well, you didn't have to do that.
Of course I did. I wanted to.
It's okay, it's here. I've got it. Thank you, everyone, for your concern.
I'll call you.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just really tired of answering that question. Sorry. I wish
What?
that you'd got away.
I wasn't ready.
Don't leave it too long. You'll miss the chance like the rest of us.
Shit, I am so late. I might not make tonight, but don't tell Mum, okay?
It'll be good for us
Love
all to
you.
be together.
Are you hungry?
I ate on the plane.
There's bolognese in the fridge.
I am not eating much meat at the moment.
Well, there's probably cucumbers or something.
The roses look good.
They're still in their first flush, Rosie. They're at their best. Just like you. You gonna tell me what happened over there?
I fell in love with the wrong guy.
Did it hurt?
So much, Dad.
Ah. Well, I'll tell you something for free. Everyone has their heart broken at least once. Hopefully for you, it'll be the only time.
Have you?
I've been with your mother since I was a kid. First and only love.
All those cities, all those beautiful cities all through Europe, and all I could think about was coming home.
It's not such a bad place.
I tried, Dad,
To do what, love?
to grow up.
This garden is the world. Everything that matters happened here. I kissed my first boy in that shed. I was 9. He was my cousin Tom down from Port Augusta. I don't know if it counts if it was your cousin, but it was a kiss nonetheless. So. He kissed me, and then he stuck his hand down my pants. I don't know what he was expecting, but I think he got a shock because he pulled it straight back out again. But I liked it. I liked it so much that I bit his face. He started to cry and ran to his mother, and I was sent to my room. And I don't know if it was because I bit him or because I liked having his hand down my pants. Either way, I think Mum knew. I think she knew exactly why a girl bites a boy in the face. But then again, she always knew the things you didn't want her to. She caught us, me and Penny McCree and Stella Bouzakis with a bottle of sweet wine. We were in year 9 and we snuck off from school at lunchtime. Penny had stolen it from her parents' drinks cabinet, and we came back here and we made a party of it, smoking those long-coloured cocktail cigarettes, thinking we were totally it. And suddenly, Mum's at the back door. She was meant to be at work. She never came home at lunchtime. But that day, when we're wagging school and drinking sweet wine, there she was. Stella got such a shock, she started to vomit. Mum stuck her face in the compost pit and said, "Vomit there, you silly girl." I was grounded for the rest of year 9, and I never drank sweet wine again. This garden is the world. Family cricket and totem tennis tournaments, hey presto, and cartwheels across the lawn, fashion parades and sleepovers, Sunday barbecues, 18th birthday parties, 21st engagements, and even a wedding, mine. It all happened here. And more. Once, I saw her, Mum, bawling her eyes out and banging her head against the trunk of that tree. I was 12, and I'd never seen her cry, not once. Not even when her own mother died. And everything that I thought I knew about the world changed. I went inside and turned the television on. I was scared. What makes a woman cry like that? A mother My mother. I didn't understand, and I didn't have the courage to ask. Now that I'm a woman, married with children of my own, I don't have to. I know exactly why a woman bashes her head against the trunk of a tree. This garden was the world.
What's wrong?
Get a blanket. The quilt from her bed, the one she knows. And Rosie, wake your dad. You're up with the birds?
I've been for a jog.
What's going on?
Can't I visit and sit for a moment in the garden that I grew up in?
Is that what you call it now when you come? A visit? A visit is something a relative you don't know very well does once a year, something you've just got to get through. This is different. This is you. Coming home, which you do 3 or 4 times a week. The thing is, when you come, you don't sit. You come, you do what needs to be done, and then you go. That's the way it is. So now I find you sitting, and I'm pretty sure something's wrong.
What's going on?
Pip is visiting.
What's wrong?
There you go. Why don't you make some coffee, Bob?
Well, I would if I knew how to work that machine.
Rosie will show you.
You want milk, Pip?
Black, thanks, Dad.
Visiting?
Is this about Steve?
I'm leaving him.
Does he know yet?
He will soon.
You might want to drop the kids over. Give yourself some room to talk.
You're not surprised?
Oh, no, I could see this coming. The writing's been on the wall for some time.
And what did it say, Mum, this writing?
It said, I'm not happy, in big black letters.
Don't.
What?
Make out like you know more about my life than I do.
I'm just saying.
Can't I be the expert on that, at least?
Oh, someone got out of bed the wrong side this morning.
This was a bad idea.
Don't you walk away from this. You're not 12 years old anymore.
What will you do, Mum? Pull my hair, slap my face?
Dad's made a mess of the coffee, so we're having tea.
Rosie, do you remember when you fell off the ladder?
Not really. I was only 2, wasn't I?
18 months, if that.
Mum had asked me to watch you. She was busy inside.
I was doing the house.
I didn't really want to. I was trying to get a tan. I was lying in the sun in my bikini, and Mum kept saying I'd burn.
You didn't have the skin for it. You still don't.
But I was determined to get a tan that summer.
You've got your father's skin.
I only closed my eyes for a second. Dad had left the ladder leaning up against the shed.
Well, you never did that, then.
And I didn't know that you could climb. Babies can't climb ladders.
She could.
I can still hear the crack of your skull hitting the path.
I heard it from the kitchen.
I screamed. Mum ran outside and saw what had happened. She looked at me, and I swear I went cold. She could do that with just a look.
I still can.
Particularly to me, Mum. You do that to me. I ran inside and hid under the bed, and she came after me.
Here we go.
You came after me, and you pulled me out from under the bed by my hair.
Come out.
By my hair.
Reach anything else?
You tore the hair from my head.
It was just a few strands.
No, it was a clump with skin, and then you slapped my face.
I was in shock. I was angry. I was tired. 4 kids I had, and 1 day a week to clean the house. And I asked you to do one thing, to watch over your sister. But you were too vain and too selfish to do it.
Vain?
Like lying in the sun like your Princess Bloody Muck instead of watching over your sister.
Dad, how's the tea going?
I wasn't vain. I was just trying to fit in to be like all the other girls.
Just gonna see how he's going.
No, stay, Rosie, would you please? I was a mouse, Mum. A mouse. And the only thing that I thought was pretty about myself was my hair, which you tore from my head. Funny that.
It was a moment of anger.
I had a bald patch for a whole term. Still doesn't grow properly
It was
there.
one time, and now what? You're unhappy because I pulled your hair when you were 12 years old?
I was 14, you...
Are you going to tell him, or will I?
Go right ahead.
She's leaving Steve.
Steve!
Well, who else would she be leaving, Bob?
Why?
Because I pulled her hair when she was 14 years old and she's been unhappy ever since.
Mum,
Pip?
Things haven't been good for a while, Dad.
Well, I know there's been a rough patch, but that's true for most marriages.
I've tried.
Well, have you thought about trying some more?
I'm not happy, Dad.
Oh, there's that word again, Bob. Happy. As if that's the point of living.
And what about Steve? How does he feel about it?
I think he'd like things to stay
You
the
have a
same.
husband who loves you, treats you well, who's a wonderful father, and you're walking away from that.
Not easily.
It doesn't make sense.
I know. He's a good man.
Oh, I get it.
What?
There's somebody else.
No.
Look at me.
I'm doing this for myself.
Oh, yeah, that much is clear.
Can't you just take my side, Mum?
The man has done nothing wrong. He's loved you and been a good father. Why should I make an enemy of him?
I don't love him.
Too bad. You've got kids, you make it work. Now you look at me and you tell me that there is no other man. You stupid girl.
Don't.
Why would you do that to yourself?
She said there's no one.
Please, God, tell me he's not married.
Mum, please don't.
What about the girls? Where are they in all this?
I've been offered a position in Vancouver and I'm going to take it.
All right, you're taking the girls away from him too.
They're staying here.
You hear that?
Now, hold on. I don't think that's right, Pip.
The position is for 12 months. I'm going to see how it goes and then we'll decide what's best.
Do you hear what she is saying?
Yeah, if this was a man making this decision, if this was Mark or Ben, you'd support it. There'd be no question that they should do
Not
this.
if they were walking out on their kids.
My job is important to me, Mum. This is a professional opportunity and I'm going to take it.
And who is going to pick up the slack with the kids? I've been a mother for 34 years. I'm over it.
I'm not asking you to do anything more than you already do.
How is he going to manage for 12 months on his own?
The same as I would if it was him that was
No,
going.
no, because you'd have me and Dad. You know you would night and day. You have gone ahead with this knowing that we will be there.
I'll be able to help.
Oh, shut it, Rosie.
I'm just saying I would help.
You made a decision 9 years ago to have children. You do not walk away from that.
Things don't have to stay the same. People work these things out differently now. Steve is as good a parent as I am.
Those girls need their mother.
No, she's unhappy.
You selfish bitch.
Jesus,
No,
Fran.
your happiness is not what matters here.
Pull it back a notch, would you?
Because you know what happens then, Mum? She'll make sure that her children are unhappy too. She'll choose one, and she'll make sure that she feels like shit about herself.
What's the matter, Pip? Did some guy bored with his wife look twice at you and make you feel like you were more than a mouse?
What's the matter with you?
She's walking out on her kids! What's the matter with you, Christ, Bob? Do you know what you get when you treat a girl like a princess? You get a fucking princess!
Oh, we're swearing now, are we?
You're going to annihilate me! Toughen up! You're going to need to if you're planning to shack up with some Canadian for the winter.
Stop it!
Oh, what? You'll raise your hand to me? You'll do that once and once only, Bob Price.
Go and see if your mother's all right. I want a moment with Pip. Is she right? Is there something more to this? Someone else?
No.
All right, then. You're an intelligent woman. You know your own mind. If this is an opportunity, then grab it with both hands, because life is horribly short. There's no gain staying with a man you've no love for. No matter how good a man he is, you'll just end up hurting him, or hurting him more than you already have. I'll come on board with the kids, you know that. So will your mum once things are settled down. Treat Steve with respect now. I'm fond of him.
So am I, Dad. That's the problem.
What do you mean?
A woman needs to feel more than fondness for her husband.
Daddy make everything all right again, did he?
Here we go.
She's lying.
There's one thing I ask of my kids. One thing. Absolute honesty. She knows that a lie to my face would kill me. You want to try listening for a change, just listening to the girl, instead of always thinking that you're right. And I would never strike you.
I know that. So, what are you going to do with yourself?
Oh, Mum, not this conversation, please.
One gap year is all very well. 2 is starting to look like a girl who doesn't know herself very well. Now, you should think about nursing. It's honest work and decent money.
I'm just not ready to decide.
What is the most important thing in a woman's life? And don't make the mistake of thinking it's love.
It wasn't.
Or children. Those things are fine, but they're not what matters. It's independence. Without that, the others are just a trap. A woman needs to stand on her own feet and earn her own money. That is the best advice you'll ever get from me, so get a job.
I've got a job.
What you'll still want to be doing when you're 40 years old and not so pretty.
Ah, you always make me cut onions. You say, come, I'll teach you how to cook, and I only end up cutting onions.
And look how well you cut them.
It's not fair.
It's a mother's job to make her children cry, one way or the other,
Why?
so they understand pain.
That is so wrong.
What is he doing?
I don't know.
Bob! Shh! Bob, what are you doing?
Look what I found. Huh?
Yeah, right. The manure, you're doing the garden.
I know.
I'm not looking after him if it gets dementia. No, I've looked after people my whole life.
Then I will.
Hey, that's enough with the onion. Do me some carrot as well. A fine dice cube, not rectangle. I'll worry about him, Rosie.
He's all right, isn't he?
I want to take him away somewhere.
Where to?
To Europe. To America. To all those places you're meant to go. I want to leave you lot and all your troubles behind. I just want it to be him and me again before
Well,
I forget what that's like.
well, can you afford it?
Well, you're not to tell your dad, but I've got a stash.
Of what?
Of money, what do you think? Now, I've always put a little away, ever since my first pay packet, even if it was just $5. It all adds up, Rosie. Compound interest.
Fran,
What?
have you used my secateurs?
No. Oh, he's older than he should be, and he knows far less of the world than he should.
Yeah, but he's happy with what he has, Mum.
That's because he thinks he doesn't deserve more. You work for a car maker for 30 years, you know nothing else, and then one day they close the doors and tell you you're not needed anymore. They give you a package and tell you that's what you're worth. And it seems like a hell of a lot when it's given you all at once if all you've ever known is a fortnightly pay packet, and so you believe them. A few years later, it's nearly all gone, and you realise that you weren't worth much at all. And so you satisfy yourself with a bed of roses. I hate those roses. They're just an excuse for not living.
Well, then why don't you stop work and spend more time together?
Because I'd bash him to death with the back of a shovel if I had to spend all day with him, and then I'd kill myself from boredom. No, I like work. I like who it lets me be.
I can't stay.
Are you hungry?
What is there?
There's lasagna in the fridge.
Can I take it with me?
Put it in a Tupperware and make sure you bring it back. You've got all my containers over there already.
What's that parked in the drive?
I know. What do you think?
It's a little flash.
What do you mean?
It looks new.
It's off the floor. I got a deal.
It's European.
So?
What are you trying to prove?
I'm not trying to prove anything. That's just what people drive.
What people?
I don't know. People. People I know. People I work with. Jesus, it's just a car.
Did you get finance for it?
Yeah, what else?
You didn't want to talk that over with me first?
What, you're a bank manager now?
He can afford it, can't you?
There was nothing wrong with the car you had.
They're like that now, Bob. They don't drive the same car for long. Not the sort of people he's with.
What people? What people is he with? The kind of people who take out a 70 grand loan to buy a new car so that they can look better than they are.
Is that what you think?
No, he's not saying
You're not
that.
even 30 years old, you're driving a brand new car. European, no less.
I earn good money. Spending it is not a crime.
Your mum and I paid cash for our first new car. We saved for it. You know what we did till we had enough in the bank?
Rosie, get me a pad and a pencil. I should write this down, stick it on the fridge.
We lived with what we had. A second-hand bomb.
That was last century.
Nevertheless, we made do.
Yeah? Well, I'm not prepared to work all my life for the same company for a handshake and a car at cost at the end of it. I want more than that.
It was costing a bit more. They weren't so generous.
Well, there you go. You got screwed in the end anyway.
Ben.
You insured?
Of course.
Full comprehensive.
I'm not an idiot.
Right then, it's in your hands.
I'll take you for a spin if you want.
You can take me.
Maybe next time,
You don't
Rosie.
need to talk to him like that.
Like I said, I can't stay.
You want to stand still just for a moment, Ben? Just to take a look at what's going on around you.
Coming here is like a lesson on how to be a better person. I get it every time. I am over it.
Yeah, well, that's our job. Hey, do you want that lasagna?
No, Mum, I have to go.
He's doing well for himself. You might want to think about noticing that now and then.
He should have talked to me about it first.
And what would you have said?
I would have said, don't do it.
Well, there you go.
He doesn't think things through.
He's young. Christ, Bob, it's a small window in which to shine and be foolish.
I wouldn't know about being young, Fran. I had 2 kids and a mortgage at his age.
Yeah, well, you weren't there alone.
I'm thinking of moving out of home.
What, and now's the time you choose to tell me?
Well, I thought seeing as you're already upset,
How will you pay the rent?
I'll get more hours.
Oh, you won't move far. The youngest never does. You'll get a house round the corner.
I will not.
Now, it's better to buy than rent. We'll help you with the deposit. That way, when the onions need cutting, you won't have far to come.
You're going to bribe me with a house.
Why not? You're my favourite.
You can't say that.
Don't worry, I tell you all the same thing.
Do you tell Pip?
She's different.
Why?
Because she's me. But stronger.
You should speak to her, Mum.
I will. When she comes back and takes care of her kids like a normal woman.
I think she's happy.
Well, good for her, because nobody else is.
Anyway, it's not true I'm your favourite. Ben is.
What can I say? The boy makes me laugh. He just has to walk into a room and I want to smile.
Well, then Mark's my favourite.
Of course. He's loved you from the get-go.
Why did Taylor leave?
Oh, you'll have to ask him. He doesn't talk to me, not about the important things.
The mail's come.
So it needs to be announced now?
There's a letter from Canada. It's addressed to you.
I don't need an audience, thank you very much.
Dear Mum, it's cold in Vancouver, but I like where I'm living. That's a reference to a Leonard Cohen song, except he was talking about New York. But then you know that, don't you? Famous Blue Raincoat? You used to play it over and over. It's 4 in the morning, the end of December. I'm writing you now just to see if you're better. New York is cold, but I like where I'm living. There's music on. I was on Skype with Katie the other day, and I found myself thinking that she was a little plump. and wishing that her face wasn't quite so round and that her hair didn't fall quite so straight from her head. Is that what we do to our daughters? Praise them while we secretly think they're not good enough. The moment they start to become women, the first shedding of blood, you remember how early I was? The first sign of a developing breast. Is this when we start thinking that they're not pretty enough? Or smart enough? Is this when we start worrying that they're never going to find someone? Or be someone? Is this what we do? Perhaps it's better that the girls are brought up by their father, who looks at them and only sees the best, like Dad. That's what Dad sees when he looks at me. I wish you could too. Yes, and Jane came by with a lock of your hair. She said that you gave it to her that night that you planned to go clear.
Did you ever go clear?
I never really understood that song when I was a girl. I still don't. But I knew enough to know that it was about love, and that each time you played it, you wanted to cry. You never did, of course. Not with us around. Only once did I see you let yourself go. You thought you were alone. In the backyard, leaning against the old gum tree, howling and howling and bashing your head against the trunk. Why were you crying that day, Mum? I'm sorry I never asked you. Why didn't we have those conversations? I think maybe we were trying to hide from each other the things that really mattered. So now I'm sitting in my apartment in Vancouver and it's threatening to snow. And I'm hoping that it does, because that's enough of an excuse not to go out. And I'm playing that song, and I'm wondering why it meant so much to you. And I can only ask you this from a distance, because I'm scared of seeing the truth in your face like you saw it in mine. I met him at an education conference in Vancouver that first trip. I didn't see it coming. Do you ever see it coming? So, yes, your accusation of another man was right. Are you ever wrong, Mum? I was ready. For him, for love, a Canadian, a public education specialist, a man who spoke with passion about a subject that I'd stopped caring about years before. It wasn't hard. I was ready to fall for someone who reminded me of what really mattered. And so I fell, Mum, in love. 3 days at a conference, 6 months of thrilling emails and text messages and clandestine phone calls, and I knew I had to come. He's married, of course. You knew that too. 3 children, a son and 2 daughters, to a woman who is good and fine and right and beautiful. But I don't care, because I feel loved by him like I never felt loved by Steve. My good, sweet husband, who did nothing but care for me and the children, but who doesn't see much further in life than the end of his own driveway. So now I'm waiting for his call, my lover, wondering if tonight he'll find the excuse to leave his good wife and his sweet children and his safe home and come to me. I didn't want to be this woman, Mum, but I can't leave. I won't. Eventually, he'll have to make a choice, and it probably won't be me. But for now, Well, for now, I am this woman. Thanks for taking the trouble from her eyes. Do you remember that line from the song? Well, that's what this man has done for me. And I'm wondering if there was somebody who could have done it for you, if you'd let them. My love, Pip.
Is everything all right?
It's fine.
What does she say?
She says it's cold in Vancouver.
On the weekends, when Dad wanted help in the garden, I would climb the gum tree and hide. From up there, I could see the world. At least, I could see our world. Pip singing to a song on the radio and checking her split ends at the patio table. Ben kicking the football from one end of the yard to the other. Always running. Dad pushing a wheelbarrow of dirt around with Rosie following him with her plastic shovel ready to help. And Mum hanging out the washing before sneaking a cheeky fag behind the shed thinking that no one knows she's there. They didn't know I was up in the tree, watching and seeing everything. Not really a part of the picture, and not really even knowing why. There were 2 occasions on which Mum would smoke. The first was if she'd had more than 2 glasses of wine. She wasn't a big drinker, so this was rare. It usually happened on New Year's Eve. She would light up after 2 glasses of sparkling wine and only ever smoke the one. She was also known to dance around with Dad's undies on her head after he had taken them off for God knows what reason. So New Year's Eve was always an ordeal for us kids. The other occasion was when she thought that one of us had a problem that she couldn't solve, which was also rare, Mum having a solution for most problems in life. And on these occasions, she could go through a pack, one after another until a solution was found. I suspect that of all of us, she smoked the most cigarettes on account of me.
What the hell are you doing?
Shh, I don't want Rosie to see.
Well, give me a puff.
No! No, one puff for you, you'll be back on a pack a day. Mark called, he's coming over.
Good, I'll get him to help me shift the garden furniture. There's a storm coming in.
He says he needs to talk to us.
What about?
Now, you're not to go on, but I think he might be gay.
Bloody hell!
No, you see, there you go.
Well, it's a bit out of the blue.
Now, he doesn't know we know, so you're going to have to act surprised.
Well, I am. I mean, why hasn't he told us before?
Oh, well, it takes some men longer, I suppose.
So this is why Taylor up and left, you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. Are you all right with this?
Yes. If he is, if it's the way he wants to go.
No, it's not a way you go, Bob. It's not a direction you take.
I didn't mean that. I mean, he's 30. How old is he?
32?
Exactly. He's 32. His life is his own.
That's right.
And you?
What?
Are you all right with it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not what you think you're going to get when you have kids.
No.
I mean, a part of me thinks, oh, not my son. Please, God, not my son. Let it be some other woman's son. But apart from that, no, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Sounds like it, too. No matter what, he's still going to be our boy. It's starting to rain.
You're soaked through.
I walked over.
In this weather,
Rosie, get a towel.
you'll catch your death.
It wasn't raining when I left.
Why didn't you take an umbrella?
I told you it wasn't raining.
It's the middle of winter, son. You go for a walk, the chances are you're going to get wet.
I'll do it, Mum.
Take that shirt off. Rosie, get him a shirt from my drawer. What about your pants?
They're fine, thanks. Mum,
No, do you think I haven't seen you naked before? Oh, would you look at the colour of him? When was the last time you saw any sun? That's your fault, Bob. White as bloody ghosts, the both of you. Have you had that mole checked out? I don't like the look of that.
Is Blue okay?
Right now, polka dots would be fine.
So are you hungry?
I'm fine.
I could fix you something.
I've eaten.
Well, what exactly? Because you're skinny as a rake.
There's your mum's stew in the fridge. I'll heat it up.
What is the matter with you two? I said I've eaten. I'm fine. And I'm not too skinny, and I'm not too white, and I haven't got skin cancer. Can we have a conversation for once that doesn't begin with you making a list of everything that's wrong with me? Could you stand still for half a minute? Because I'm trying to tell you something here, and it's not easy.
Look, Mark. There's nothing you could tell us that would shock us or make us feel any different about you.
Unless you told us you'd decided to become a woman, then we would be shocked.
That's not how this was meant to go. I need you to say something.
We thought you were gay.
Right.
Are you?
What the hell does that matter?
I don't know.
Well, I'm not.
Okay?
Are you relieved?
No, that's not what I'm feeling right now.
What are you feeling, Mum?
I can't begin. Are you sure about this?
Yes.
Then what are you feeling?
Afraid? Confused? A little ashamed? No, not ashamed. I'm finished with feeling that, but embarrassed, I guess, telling you. And angry. Yeah, angry. I had a whole speech prepared. I've been practicing it for 20 years.
And I put my foot in it.
You did, Dad, yeah.
Are you telling us that you're one of those men who wants to be a woman?
That's the gist of it.
Is it that you like to put on women's clothing in the privacy of your own home? Because it was Uncle Trevor on my mother's side. Or are you talking about the whole shebang here?
Okay, look. This is something I have known about myself for many years. It is something I have fought and hidden. It has made me very unhappy. And it has cost me a relationship with a woman I loved very much.
Well, you can understand her point of view.
Yes, Mum, I can. Taylor's point of view is very clear, but right now we're talking about mine. This is hard, you know? This is so fucking hard. This is never a conversation I wanted to have.
Well, it's not high on my list either.
I wanted to be normal, Mum. Whatever that is. I wanted to grow up, get married, and have my own kids, just like you and Dad. I wanted to love and to be loved. That's all I ever wanted. Say something, Rosie.
What should I say?
Oh, I don't know. Go read a book, work it out for yourself.
Why didn't you tell me?
What?
I tell you everything.
I'm telling you now.
I thought you trusted me.
This is not about you. You understand that? Right now, I need you to be a grown-up, Rosie.
Stop it.
What?
Stop thinking that we can handle this because maybe we can't.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I was expecting too much, too soon. I get that. So, I've been seeing a psychologist for a year now. I've met people who have gone through this. I'm ready to start hormone treatment. It's a long process, but eventually, I hope to live as a woman. I hope to live as a woman.
Does that involve surgery?
It might.
You could do that to your body.
This is not the right body for me.
It's the one you got. There's a reason for that.
Then whoever or whatever decides that is fucking cruel.
You can give the language a miss.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Dad, it doesn't matter.
I don't know what to say to him.
You never have! I've got books for you to read
I need to think this through.
and websites for you to look
Wind's
up.
getting up. I should move that furniture into the shed.
Dad,
There goes my fair weather father.
don't say that.
Come on, Mum. We all know you steer this ship in a storm. He's a great dad. He coached us in the under-15s. He was terrific at that. Anything more complex, he's a little lost.
No, it may be me, you see, shouting the orders, but it's always your father making the phone calls behind the scenes, making sure things happen. He and I are a good team, but we never saw this coming. Don't expect us to be good at it right away.
But eventually. And I expect that, Mum. Well, it's okay. I've got good people around me.
What people have you got? What people would you speak to before you'd speak to your own family about this?
People like me, Mum. There's a whole world out there.
Spare me the details.
You need to get educated. If you want to have
what?
any relationship, if you want to have a meaningful relationship with me,
You're threatening me.
if you want to have a relationship with me in the future, you need to know that the space in between black and white is much wider than you've ever imagined.
I've been a nurse for 30 years. I've seen all kinds of in-between. I've wiped the arses and I've tended the wounds of men who've been women and women who've been men. So I know what this looks like. But here, now, I am a mother and I am losing something I don't want to lose. That boy, the one we raised, your father and me. That man. What happens to him? Do we even get to say goodbye?
I'm moving to Sydney in a month.
No.
You don't get to decide that.
You're going to need support.
Yeah, but not from you. I don't want to hurt you, Mum, but I can't do this here. There's no place for me here.
We will make a place.
Yeah, I can just see it. I don't want to be the strange aunt at the end of the table at Christmas time with the stupid paper hat on her head. The woman whose hands are too large, whose voice is too deep to be right. The unhappy woman at the end of the table who everyone talks about when she goes home.
Is that who you think we are?
Mum, I can't stay here. I've got to find my own people. I've got to make a new family.
And what do I get? Your mother, who pushed you out of here, my cunt. Oh, don't flinch at the word, Mark. Not if you're going to go out and get one.
Did she just say that? Did she just do that?
My firstborn son.
Hold on, Rosie, because Mum is going to get
you
me.
think that doesn't mean something to a mother, to me? Because I can tell you a phone call every second weekend isn't going to be enough. Do you think you can just walk away from this, you selfish shit?
Mum.
Oh, we spoilt you, you and your sister. No, we brought you up to think you can have what you want. You can be who you want, no matter what it costs or who it hurts. People like us, your father and me, the mugs we are. Oh, we're just the people we were told to be. And who was I told to be? A mother! Well, I wish I'd never had children!
That's enough. You need to stop before you say something you don't mean.
Too late. Damage done.
Don't say that.
She's a fucking bridge burner.
Stop your swearing, please. I'm asking you, both of you, to stop. Look, this is not easy. I don't know what to say. Maybe I never did. But this is what I know now. You're a beautiful boy. A beautiful man. You have been since you were born. You didn't get it from me. I look like I've been kicked in the face with a boot, so it's your mother you've got to thank for that. Beauty and strength. You've got both. You're blessed. And now you want to mess with that, with what nature has given you. And I don't understand it, and I don't even want to. But I'm asking you, not to do this?
That's too much to ask.
I'm asking, Mark. I'm asking. I've never asked for anything.
You can't ask that.
I'm asking.
Don't.
I'm begging you.
I love you, Dad. I love you both so much. Too much. But that is too much to ask of me.
And go on, go. Wear a dress if you have to. Cut your dick off if it makes you feel whole. Become the person you need to be. But not in my house. I don't want to see that. So get out. Go. But when you come back as a woman, I shall look for my son in her face and mourn his loss.
It's a one-bedroom apartment. More of a bedsit, really. But with rents in Sydney the way they are, it's all I could afford. But at least it's on the train line, and it has light. And they say that if you have light, you don't need space.
Who says that?
People who live in bedsits, I guess.
I'll come up and see you.
Leave it for a while. Let me find my feet. Start the treatment, you know?
How soon?
I've got my first appointment next week.
And when?
I'll start to see some effects within a couple of months.
I'm scared you're going to be lonely.
I'll meet people.
I'm worried you're going to be unhappy.
I'm unhappy now. I've been unhappy for a long time.
I'm worried people will make fun of you.
They will. Some people. Just so long as you don't.
I'm worried you won't feel the same way about me.
I don't know how I'm going to feel about anything.
I'm worried
Rosie, stop it.
So, I was thinking that maybe I could come up at the end of the year and we could get a place together.
No.
Why?
Because I can't be looking after you.
I'll look after you.
I don't want you there.
Why are you being so mean?
You just don't want things to change.
I don't see why they have to. First Pip, now you.
You need to grow up. You need to decide who you are and get on with it. You're smart, you know. You're smarter than any of us.
I don't know how to do that.
You have to stop loving us so much. Mum and Dad, Pip, Ben and me, you can't love us as much as you do.
How do I do that?
Stop thinking we're the best thing since sliced bread.
We are.
We're not. We're fucked up like most families.
I hate you.
You have to say goodbye, Rosie. You have to turn around and walk away.
I can't do that.
Then stay. Be the one they want. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, look at all this stuff. Jeans and shirts, ties and jocks, my razor and deodorant. This all belongs to someone else now. And my watch, Rosie. Mum and Dad gave it to me for my 21st. It means something. I don't know what to do with all the things that matter to me.
Let me wear it. Hold up your arm. What's her name?
Mia. I hear the sound of the horn and I know that it's time to go. I wish it was a taxi and that the goodbyes were over, but Dad has insisted on taking me to the airport. Rosie comes too, of course. She's at the wheel, Dad's in the front passenger seat, so I sit in the back, which makes me feel like a child again, which I resent a little. Dad wants Rosie to take the coast road. She insists on taking the expressway. There is a kind of useless argument, a standoff that you would only tolerate with members of your own family. Rosie wins. She can be surprisingly stubborn. So we take the expressway only to discover that there are roadworks in progress. So it takes longer than usual. And Dad gets this "I told you so" look on his face. And Rosie is reduced to a silent kind of rage. And I'm sitting in the back seat, looking out the window, thinking just how ugly the road to the airport is. Mum isn't with us. She's at work. We've hardly spoken. Our farewell was brief and hard. We both tried to outdo each other with a "I'm still angry with you" face. But she won. She always wins that game. But I felt the strength in her final quick embrace before she turned away, and I thought, it's going to be okay with her. That one day she will soften. One day she may even want to get to know her. I want them to drop me at the airport and keep going. I want this goodbye to be over. I beg Rosie with my eyes. She gets it, but airport farewells are still a big deal to Dad, and he insists on coming inside and walking me to the gate. There is mayhem at security as he sets off the alarms. How a man can have so many pieces of metal about his person is a mystery to me. But given that my time as a man is finite, it's not a mystery I need to give much further thought to. At the gate, I tell Dad that I will come home soon to visit. He says he'll come and see me in Sydney as soon as I've settled in. Both of us know that neither of these things is going to happen, but pretending they will seems to make the parting easier. I linger in his embrace, knowing that it will be the last time that I will be held by him as a man. And then he does something that takes my breath away. He kisses me on the lips, and it almost does me in. It is so intimate, and I have never loved him more. And as I look back from the gate, he's broken. He's weeping. Rosie is holding him. She has him. But I have to look away. I have to look ahead. I have to keep walking. My father's grief is a price I'm prepared to pay. The plane turns down the runway, increases its speed, lifts off the ground, and as it makes its ascent, I look down upon the city where I grew up and steel myself against memories, against history, and against the man I was. By the time I land in Sydney, Mark Price will just be someone I used to know.
in the chaos of our home in the kitchen when we were cleaning up after dinner, as arguments were being had about who did what to whom and arrangements were being made about who had to be where when. Basketball, netball, football, soccer, drama, piano, and who would take the mum or dad or the bus. And in the middle of the arguments about who would do what in the cleanup, the washing, the drying, and the putting away, and the wiping down the surfaces, and who does more, and who does nothing, and who always goes to the toilet when the sweeping up needs to be done. Yeah, it was me. In the midst of all of this, a song would come on the radio, and Dad would stop and reach for her. And she would resist. She'd push him off. I'm too busy. I don't have time. My feet are too sore. But it was just part of their play. Part of the game, because she loved it when he took her. She loved it when they danced. And we kids, we groaned and stuck our fingers down our throats and pretended that we weren't interested in their dancing, in their love, in the secrets that only they shared.
What's wrong?
I don't like the song.
What's wrong with it?
It's too modern.
Oh, don't be silly.
Where were you?
What?
There was a time when we danced when the only thing that was going on was you and me. Now you're anywhere but here.
I've got things on my mind.
What things?
The kids.
Bugger the kids. They're not here.
That's the difference between you and me. Have you got cancer? Is it that moment? No, because I'm not ready for that.
I feel
What, Bob?
like life has passed me by.
Oh, you're 63. There's less ahead of you than there is behind. It's terrifying, so there's enough still to come.
For what, though?
You and me, whatever. All of it. Talk to me, Bob.
I'm trying.
Try harder.
Sometimes I find myself standing in the shed wondering what to do next, because everything's already been done. Everything's been watered and mulched and clipped and pruned and tied back and fertilized. And all I can do is wait for the change of season so I can do it all again.
Bugger the garden.
I don't have much else.
Oh, you stopped work too soon. I always said it.
I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have to be amongst the first to take the package.
There were younger men and women, much younger, with small children. They needed the work more than I did.
Well, you should have found something else.
I was 56. No one wanted me.
Other men weren't so quick to throw in the towel.
Is that what you think I did?
Didn't you?
I thought,
What?
I don't know, I thought I'd earned it. The rest, the leisure. There's a word for a man who's worked since he was 16, leisure. Christ, when I worked, all I could dream of was a few extra hours in the day to spend in the garden. But who would have thought the days would turn out to be so long?
Stop it.
What?
I don't want you to be old, Bob. In here, there's plenty of time for that later. Wait for me. We'll do it together. But not yet.
Well, how do you fend it off? Tell me. I feel a weight on me, Fran. 63 years is bloody heavy.
We'll go away.
Away?
A change, something different. We'll go to Europe or the Caribbean.
Overseas?
Why not?
With what?
Well, we'll find it when we need it. We always have.
Away, you reckon?
Other people do it. Why not us?
Well, I've always wanted to go to the Kruger National Park in South Africa.
Well, then we'll go.
It's probably too expensive.
We'll find it. We will. But right now, this is what is going to happen. You and me are going home, and we are going to get beneath the sheets, and we're going to have a good go at it.
Well, that could put a spring back in my step, I suppose.
I want to be bounced around a bit, Bob. Flipped over and turned upside down like the old days.
Can't promise that, love. It's the knees.
Then we'll do it face to face, eye to eye. Whatever works. But we're going to have sex, Bob Price. And we are going to remember who we are.
Where's Mom and Dad?
Out?
Where?
It's their anniversary.
I need to see them.
What's wrong, Ben?
Did you hear a car?
I don't think so.
Maybe it's them.
I didn't hear anything.
I want Mum.
Are you on something?
No.
Are you?
No.
Don't come if you're on something. It's their anniversary. It's not fair.
I'm not on anything.
You're sweating, Ben.
I've been running.
Running? Where?
Running and running.
Where?
I'm so tired, Rosie.
Okay.
I have been running.
I know.
Was that a car?
No.
I need Mum.
They're out.
Can you phone them?
You want a cup of tea?
I've been running, Rosie.
Something to eat?
I've been running.
You're home. You're here. You don't have to run anymore.
You don't understand! This is what I've been running from! I have been running and running, and look where I end up! I'm so angry, I can fucking hit something! I'm frightened, Rosie.
So am I.
What's going on? Ben, look at me. Look at me.
What's going on?
Have you taken something?
No.
Your eyes.
I'm tired.
Your pupils are enlarged.
I've been running.
Okay, it's all right. You're going to be all right, but I need to know what you're on.
Is he on drugs?
Oh, you're burning.
Have you come into this house on drugs?
Leave it, Bob.
I want an answer.
What do you want to know, Mr. Napalot?
What drugs have you taken?
Maybe leave it, Bob, until he's calmed down.
I bloody well won't leave it. You're in my house, boy.
Don't provoke him, Bob.
Rosie, what's he taken?
I don't know.
You frightened your sister and your mother. What have you got to say for yourself?
What do you want to know?
I want to know what drugs you've taken.
It's easier to ask me which drugs I haven't taken.
That's it. I should have taken you in hand years ago.
Stop it.
Come on. Come on, I'll take you on.
What, are you going to hit
No,
me?
Ben, don't you dare touch
I'm
him.
not, he's trying to hit me.
Nobody is hitting anybody.
Get out of the way, woman.
You can't fight him,
About
please.
drugs, Dad, please, I need you. I've done something really bad. I've stolen some money.
Go on.
I've been skimming.
Which is?
I move money, lots of it, every day. It's possible to skim a little off the top and direct it into a bogus account. If you're the one who inputs the data, if it's done in small amounts and at irregular intervals, it's difficult to trace.
How long has it been going on?
About 18 months. I got greedy. I got lazy. I kept taking. There's an internal investigation that's going to come my way very soon.
Are we talking about a lot of money?
That depends on what kind of world you live in.
How much?
Around 250.
1,000, right? 250,000. In what world is that not a lot of money? It's not a world that we live in. When did you go there, to that world?
I don't know, Mum.
She can't help you. She can't solve this one.
Mum.
What part of you doesn't understand that stealing is wrong?
Yeah, all right.
It's black and white, isn't it?
Dad, I can't cop a lecture now, right?
A lecture from me is the least of what's coming your way, so answer me. It's black and white, right?
Bob.
Shut up, Fran. For once, shut up. Is it black and white, Ben?
Yes.
You know the difference between right and wrong. You couldn't have grown up in this house without knowing that.
Yes.
So you knew you were doing the wrong thing?
Yes.
And you did it anyway?
Yes! Yes!
Then why?
Because I could!
You hear that, Fran? Our son stole money because he could.
Listen!
It better be good.
I started hanging out with a different kind of people. People who earn more, have more. The private school boys, rich, safe, and paid for. You've got no idea what these people have. I wanted to be one of them. You know, they just assume that you've got what they've got. And if they find out you haven't, they don't want to know you. You're out. You're looking at their backs before you even know it.
Am I meant to be moved by that?
Mum.
Am I meant to feel sorry for you?
Okay, Bob.
Poor little boy with a working class parents found himself on the other side of town. What did you tell them when they asked you what school you went to, Ben? What did you tell them when they asked you what your parents did for a living? My old man works on a car assembly plant. How dare you think that this is not good enough? Who the hell are you? Who even let you into this house?
Please! Stop it! Please!
Come on then! Hit me, old man! Come on! Hit me! Hit me! You fucker! Oh, fuck.
Right then, the first thing that is going to happen is that you're going to pay back that money.
I don't have it.
No, of course you don't. Some of it's sitting in the driveway. We'll sell that. That's a start. And a fair whack of it probably went up your nose. Can't get that back.
We'll take out a mortgage on the house.
We bloody well will not.
Bob, please.
Have you forgotten? A 30-year mortgage paid back in 16.
How could I?
What that cost us.
I know.
The double shifts. The overtime, the holidays not taken, years of doing without. Why? Because we thought being debt-free meant something. We thought it meant we were good people.
Stolen from people. He could go to jail.
That's right.
Dad, I will pay you back.
With what wage? You're not going to have a job by the morning, and nobody employs a thief. No, you'll need 2 signatures on the paperwork, Fran, and you're not getting mine.
All right then. I've got the money.
What money?
I've got some put aside.
No, Mum.
What money?
I've put some money aside every year. It's not quite what he owes, but it's close to it.
That much? You've kept that much aside?
Yes.
From me?
It was a surprise, Dad.
Well, it's certainly that, love. It's a big surprise.
There's a chance if I can put this right with them, they won't go to the police.
Why's that?
Look, they work on the margins as it is. You know what I'm saying? They won't want the cops all over their books. If I can put this right...
It's not going to happen that way, Ben. First thing in the morning, we're going to your boss, and you're going to tell him what you've done.
I'm not the only one at it.
You might want to mention that as well.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, it is. You just stick a whistle in your mouth and blow. After that, we're going to the police station.
No, but if we can put that right...
There's only one way to do that, and that's to let the boy face the consequences of what he's done.
You are going to ruin his life.
He did that with the first dollar he took that wasn't his. You let something ugly in, son. Envy. No. You're going to take responsibility for what you've done, even if it means jail.
Fuck that!
No, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you for bringing this into our home! The opportunities you've been given to finish school, to go to university. What I could have done with an opportunity like that. But you get a degree in accountancy so that you can steal from people. So no, fuck you!
Dad, I'm scared.
You should be. Now give me your keys. Do I have to take them off you? Right. You'll sleep here tonight.
Dad.
I've got nothing for you, Ben. No words to reassure you, no hug to make you feel better. What I had, I've already given. And you never wanted it anyway. So he's not the only one been doing some skimming then.
It was mine. My wage, I earned it.
Right. It's just that every pay packet I ever earned went straight into a bank account with both our names on it. There was never a mine, just ours.
It was my get-out money, Bob. I saw it happen to my mother. Stuck in a miserable marriage with a man she didn't love because she couldn't afford to leave. It wasn't going to happen to me. And so I put a little away every pay until I had enough to buy some shares.
Shares?
Mining, iron ore. The price goes through the roof, and suddenly I'm a wealthy woman. I start to get nervous. I read the papers. I can see what's coming, so I sell. And then the price goes down. Oh, I played it well.
Right.
I'm not justifying it. I don't have to.
No. But a man wouldn't mind an explanation why he wasn't let in on it.
I told you. I had to know I could go if I ever needed to.
Did you? Ever need to? What stopped you?
The kids, I stayed because of the children.
And me, where was I in this picture?
You can't love someone for 30 years straight. You fall out of love, or there's no time for love, or love is not the point. Getting by is the point. Raising children is the point. I'll stop if you don't want to hear this.
No, I want to know.
You fall out of love. You just do. And you think about maybe something else, another life. But it passes. And if you wait long enough, one day you realize that the man you did love is still there, still sitting across the table from you, still sleeping on the other side of your bed. And you settle for that.
You settled for me.
I'm being honest, Bob.
Was there ever someone else?
Oh, don't ask me that.
Was there?
I don't want to hurt you.
Was there?
There was somebody who wanted me.
And?
I said no.
Did you love him?
For a moment.
Who was he?
Does that matter?
I'm not sure.
He was a patient, long term. I cared for him. We had some time, to get to know one another. He liked Leonard Cohen. But I chose you. You and the kids and what we had.
And regretted it ever since.
No.
Yeah. You punished me, Fran. You punished us. Pip especially, with your fury. With your screaming out at the unfairness of it all. Married with 4 kids, one you weren't expecting, an accident. You thought you were done. You had other plans. That was about the time, wasn't it? When some other bloke wanted you. Funny what a husband will do to make sure his wife stays.
You knew?
A man's not blind to his wife's unhappiness.
And you thought that a kid would fix it?
The kid happened, and I'm glad of it. Unless
Don't.
you're going to break my heart if you tell me that girl's not mine.
You're Rosie's father.
I'm the man who brought her up. I know that much.
I never slept with him. I could have. He wanted me. I lay with him a few times. Late at night. Held him, let him hold me. That was enough. And more than I was getting from you at the time. He asked me to go away with him. Me. Well, I never had a man ask me such a thing. And I thought about it for a moment. A day. A week. And then I said no.
And settled for me.
That's about it, yeah.
You're too hard, Fran. You want to learn how to give a man a way back.
I won't stand by and watch Ben go to jail. Not if I can help it. You need to know that.
It's your money, do what you want with it. But what you give to Ben, you have to give to the other 3. I won't see one child favoured financially.
I won't leave much over for you and me.
You and me?
You're going to break your father's heart.
Oh, don't say that.
Well.
Well, what about yours? Will I break yours?
No, I'm ready for you to go. I'm over being a mother.
I don't want you to be over me.
Out of sight, out of mind.
You don't mean that.
Rosie, you've parked too close to the wall. I can't get my wheelbarrow through. I've told you 100
I'll
times.
shift it.
Rosie's got something to tell you.
It can wait till later.
No, it can't.
What is it?
She's leaving.
Mum!
She's enrolled in a course.
A course? Well, that's good, isn't it? In what?
Go on.
It's a creative writing course.
I know, I told her.
Well, how are you going to earn a living from that?
That is why I said,
Maybe you should think about getting a qualification first.
like nursing.
Or teaching.
Or journalism.
Now, that sounds like something worth looking at.
No.
Just something you can...
Fall back on, that's what I said.
In case the creative writing
Doesn't work out, which it probably won't.
Mum!
Well, you might not be very good at it.
Yeah, but let me figure that out. This isn't something I've just made up because I don't know what else to do. I have to try this. I think if I don't, I'll regret it.
Well, where is this course?
It's at Griffith University.
Griffith? Griffith, where's that? Do I know that one?
It's in Brisbane.
Brisbane? Could you have chosen any place further away?
It's got a good reputation.
But you don't know anyone in Brisbane.
I know, isn't that great?
Well, who do we know in Brisbane, Fran?
No one.
Yeah, what about
No,
the couple that used to live 2 doors down? Didn't they
Yes,
move
we
to
don't
Brisbane?
know them.
But we used to have them over and go to
20 years
theirs.
ago, Bob.
Yeah, but we could give them a call. At least it's someone. You can't just go somewhere where you don't know anyone. You need somewhere to stay until you find your feet.
I've arranged to stay on someone's couch until I find somewhere.
Fran?
It's what they do, Bob.
Well, when is all this happening?
I drive up in about 3 weeks.
Drive?
I need the car up there.
You're throwing a lot of balls at me at once here, Rosie. I don't think you've thought this through. We could put it on a truck, have it sent
I
up.
want to do the drive, and I'm going to stop off in Sydney and see Mia.
Well, here's an idea. How about I drive up with you, then fly back? We'll make a trip out of it, a father and daughter thing. I won't talk too much if that's what you're worried about. You can listen to your music when the news isn't on. Fran, what do you think about that idea?
Not this time, Bob.
Fran, what do you think about that idea?
Not this time, Bob.
But it's such a long way, and you're not used to driving long distances.
Bob?
There are trucks on the highway. Have you seen how fast they go? And they take up the whole road, Rosie. You've got no idea. They won't even see you in that bug of a car you drive.
Oh, toot.
You don't even know what road to take to get out of Adelaide. How the hell are you going to get to Brisbane?
Oh, don't cry, Dad.
I'm not.
No, you're going to make me cry.
I'm not crying.
I had to go sooner or later.
Yeah, but so far. Did you have to go so far?
You can't make this so hard for me. You have to help me through this, Dad. This is normal. This is what's meant to happen. I'll move my car.
Not her, Fran.
I know.
Not her.
Oh, what are you talking about? Did you think you were going to hang on to her for the rest of her life?
Wasn't meant to be like this. I thought they'd be like us, but better than us. Better versions of us. Better educated, with better jobs and better prospects. That's what we worked so hard for, wasn't it? But I thought they'd all live close by, in the same city at least. In a house they built, just like us. And that they'd get married to good people and have kids like us. And there would be all the kids, all the cousins, and that there would be cricket and totem tennis and sleepovers at Nan and Pop's, you know, and engagements and weddings here in this garden. That's what I thought life would be. That's all I ever wanted it to be, Fran.
talking to you.
I know.
Where are you?
I'm here, Fran. I've always been
Now, I've
here.
done a pasta bake for Stephen the kids. He's picking up on his way home from work. There's some chops in the fridge for you. I'm going.
Good.
I'm working late.
Don't wake me.
Oh, text me when you hear from Rosie.
I will.
You told her to stop off, didn't you?
In the Randera, if she got that
So
far.
text me when you hear from her.
I said I would.
Straight away, because I'll be waiting.
What is the matter with you?
What?
Why are you always so angry?
I'm not.
You are. You always have been.
I'm not angry. I'm tired. There's always so much to do, and I'm always running late, and I'm worried about Rosie being on the road alone, and I'm just tired, Bob.
Then stop. There's nothing left to do. They've all gone.
Did I do this? Did I drive them away?
They made their own choices, Fran.
I was thinking we might make a few changes out here.
Eh?
Yeah, we'll make a little more room. Pull up some of the lawn and maybe get rid of some roses.
The roses?
No, but we can plant some other things, like natives.
Natives?
Yeah, I want to plant some vines and creepers and herbs, things that grow every which way and all over the place and on top of each other. I want a garden full of chaos and mess and places where we can hide and get away when we need to.
Well, I suppose we could do something with that patch behind the shed.
No, Bob. No, I'm talking about tearing up the whole lot of it and starting again. Text me when you hear from her.
You didn't see it coming.
It hits you like a blow to the back of the head,
Like a punch in the stomach.
like a kick to the back of the knees.
You almost don't recognize the name.
It's like they're talking about someone else.
Someone you don't know.
Because you never thought it was possible.
Never even imagined it.
A world.
A life.
Without her.
Her shift finished at 3 a.m. She was in the car and on the road by 3:05. She was tired. It had been a difficult shift. Usual shortage of beds and juggling of patients. But they had also lost someone that night. A woman she had let herself get close to. She allowed herself a moment's reflection on the passing of time before she steeled herself against it and got on with the night. She was travelling down the expressway. She was tired. She was worried about her kids. She was thinking about me being on the road alone, wondering if I'd get there alive, forcing herself not to think the worst, but thinking it anyway. She was worried about Pip. She felt guilty that she still had not answered her letter, but she wasn't much of a writer and she didn't think she could say what Pip needed to hear anyway. She was worried about Mia. She regretted the things that were said between them and the coldness of their parting. She felt her bottom lip quiver when she thought of her alone in Sydney. She'll call her in the morning just to hear the sound of her voice. She was still cross with Ben and found a way to let him know it on most days of the week. She wondered if she had been too soft on him, let him get away with things that she would not have stood for in the others. She thought about love and how sometimes you can give too much, and sometimes you couldn't give enough, and that finding the right place in between wasn't easy. She thought about Bob. He'll still be asleep. She looked forward to crawling into bed beside him. She loved the warmth of him in the morning. She was thinking all of this when her eyes closed just for a moment. She veered out of the inside lane and hit the concrete divider before flipping the car. She was crushed on impact. She was dead on arrival at the hospital where she worked.
I'll catch the...
I'm on my...
I'll be there. Dad?
Dad?
I hang up. I open the curtains. It's been snowing. Everything's white. And I feel very cold. I'm very far away. Please, God, not her. I think about calling him and asking him to come. Instead, I open my laptop and I start searching for a flight, and I know that this, whatever this is, open my laptop and I start searching for a flight, and I know that this, whatever this is over, and I have to go home.
I hang up. I open the window. The heat and noise hit me in the face. I can hear a train passing nearby and a couple having sex in the flat below. I want to scream. I want to cry. Please, God, not her. This can't be happening. There is so much that still needs to be said.
I hang up. I walk. I stumble. I fall. Not her. Please, God, not her. I cry. I weep. I bash my head on the floor. Not her. Please, God, not her.
I hang up. I step out of the car and I can hardly breathe. I'm standing on the side of the highway and I don't know whether to turn back or to keep going. I'm somewhere between who I was and who I am going to be. I want my dad. I want my sisters and my brother. I want my mom. I want my mom. I can't control, not now, because if I do, my chest will explode. I feel like I am literally gonna fall to pieces. Like, my arms are gonna drop off, and then my legs and my head. And so, to stop myself from coming apart, I make a list of all the things I know to be true. I know that having your heart broken by a boy from Spain will not be the worst thing that ever happens to you. I know that things can't remain the same, no matter how much you want them to. I know that people aren't perfect, even the people you love, especially the people you love. And I know that love is not enough to save them. I know what grief tastes like. It is bitter. And I know what it sounds like. It's loud. And I know that on the day my mother died, my childhood finally ended. I know that summer turns into autumn, and that autumn becomes winter, and winter back to spring, and spring back to summer. And it goes on. Life. It goes on.
Dad, the car's here.
Are we ready?
I think so.
Right then. Let's go.